Mr. President, this is Mr. Dante Ang Jr. of the Manila Times.
Good afternoon po.
And
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
this is Ms. Bettina Fernandez of Tribune.
Sir, Mayor, pleasure to be given the opportunity.
I'm
Thank you,
honored.
Sir.
Me too. I think this is the first time pre-SONA.
Okay.
I do not remember having this kind of event before a SONA, but I'd be glad to give you maybe on the rough edges of
Yes, sir.
what you'd like to know from me.
Yes, sir. So first, thank you po for giving us this opportunity to talk to you before your next SONA po, which, as you know po, comes from after the last midterm elections.
Yes.
And observers see that as a big win for your administration po. So I think looking forward po to the next 3 years, what will be po your priority measures po? Where
Well,
will you focus?
We have passed so many laws, PhilHealth, the education program, and the build. We have made progress tremendously, and though I would say that we have to do more on the agricultural sector. But we have improved on our law and order condition. We have professionalized our police the long way, the hard way. But I think we have attained actually a minimum of efficient police organization work. And I'm happy with that. And so many other things. For example, I have done away with the irrigation fees, and well, of course, I'd like to go back again, the doubling of the salaries of our soldiers and the uniform personnel in government. And many others, but this time, the second half, I think I'll concentrate more on, if the funds are there, the Philippine Coconut Authority is organized. Then if there's the money, then we have to see how it is spent wisely. I would like to document here that hindi na pwede yung sabihin isa-uli sa lahat eh.
Apo.
That was a long time ago. The collection was yung sa levy. I don't think we'd be able to trace and everyone for those who contributed to that fund unfairly though. But as I would say, we cannot anymore. It's inhumanly possible to do that. So Congress must come up with something more rational. And I think that the money should be put to good use by just improving on the research. And a lot of coconut trees have been cut, felled because of substitute products. But maybe by the next decade, coconut will come back. But there are many uses of coconut which cannot, which the palm oil cannot substitute. And there are the things that in the meantime, if they're using it for banana, there will be a time that we'll have to rehabilitate the whole of the coconut industry.
So agriculture po will be
Yes,
a
a major thrust of this.
Opo.
You know that most of the poverty is in the private sector. Yung, lalo na sa agriculture.
So, Mr. President, yun pong agri will be the highlight of the next SONA. Yung agri po will be the centerpiece of your SONA message and then the next 3 years.
Yes, and how the money would be spent, and I'd cut on improving government services. For example, yesterday I went to investigate the customs, and I'd be, well, if they're going to if they're not ready to resign, then I can give them the options. About 63 of them. I found out in one day that their continued presence in the Bureau of Customs would be detrimental to public interest.
Sir, follow-up po. Kung centerpiece niyo ho would be agriculture in the next 3 years because you'll be having fund coming from the PCA, from the COCO fund, paano ho yung mga lupa na kinonvert na agriculture, ginawang industrial, tinayuan ng mga malls, ginawang bahay, ginawang condominium, ginawang resort, paano ho yun?
Well, automatically, this should be excluded in the fund to improve the industry of coconut. If you are not into coconut planting, naturally you are out. Yun ang, that's the main community. There's a big sector in the agricultural community, and even some congressmen, legislators. They are worried about the propensity of many people of converting prime lands, prime agricultural lands for commercial and agricultural, commercial and quasi-commercial enterprises. No more the actual planting, but the manufacturing are getting nearer to the borders of the actual coconut plantation.
Sir, the last SONA you mentioned, you were going to push for the Land Use Act.
Yes.
Is that part of this program to fix the agriculture sector?
Yes, that is an important legislation which Congress must come up. The land use is very important, so that we know how much still can we afford to address a certain amount of hectareage, and whether or not we still can be a sustainable country by consuming what we plant. Although it's a long shot right now, I would say.
Sir, will that be, kasama ho ba dyan sa centerpiece na yan yung luring back the people from the provinces to go back to agriculture? Kasi ho, nakita nga ho ng mga tao sa probinsya.
That would be a good strategy. And other countries did it. We did it during the time of Marcos. And a little programs here and then by the DSWD and together with some people from the agricultural sectors. But unless we guarantee the ownership of the land, which I am pushing again for, we do not have the capacity now to buy. But for those people who are the beneficiaries who are still out in the cold for one reason or another, kasi ayong bitawan, I have ordered Castriciones, the DAR, to go into a massive campaign to give it to the possession must be surrendered to the beneficiaries.
Sir, sabi po nila sa agrarian reform, one of the problems there is, yun ho isang malaking asyenda kapag in-slice ninyo, binigay sa several nagsasaka, maliit ho yung napupunta sa magsasaka. So it's not enough to provide enough for the family. So paano ho i-address yung ganun? For example, 4 na hektarya, pero it's not enough to produce so much for that certain family. Kaya ho nangyayari, they surrender to the lure of the hasyendero. Bibigay na naman nila, tapos ano na naman sila, magsasaka na naman silang sa gigilid or...
That's the very purpose of that 78 billion, to rehabilitate, and the only that they can really survive is to
So pati sa agrarian reform,
yeah,
kasama po yun.
because the product of that particular land cannot really be a source of, sabihin mo, ilan 2 or 3 na for export. That's the reason why we have to go to cooperatives. But little has been achieved in itong success story about cooperatives. But I'd like government to bring back again the time when Marcos was president for the land bank to go to the mountains and process the loans there. Yun ang gusto kong mangyari. At noon pa yan, inaapurak mo sila. But with enough money, and if it's really intended to be used for the benefit of the farmers, yung mga sa agricultural sector, then that money can be put to good use, I said. But it has to be supervised strictly. And again, you have to adjust to something like corruption and all of these things, policies not followed. Ang mahirap kasi ipasunod dito, we start good. The program is good, but along the way it falters. Either through corruption or simply the money is gone. And that goes for cooperatives. This is not a new experience for all of us. Merong cooperatives, they elect the board of trustees and everything, and the president, and suddenly the idiot runs away. Or some scalawags there would just be in cabal to steal the money of the... Yan ang may have. There is not enough protection given to farmers. And that is why I said I'd like government to handle this, the land bank. I think we have enough good people there to really do the job.
So, sir, kasamang coconut, syempre.
Whatever enhances our agricultural sector and it can make money because palm oil is has its limits.
Sir,
There's even a glut of supply.
Sir, yung the war on drugs has been central to your policies po from the beginning, and I think we can safely assume it will continue po. But looking po at the past 3 years, and what you've experienced so far po, moving ahead the next 3 years, what changes will you make po in that campaign to be more effective?
No changes.
No change po.
No changes. It will last until the last day of my term. Ito kasi ang nakaproblema.
Apo.
I don't know about the critics outside of this country, but certainly trafficking of drugs is a crime. It is a serious crime. As a matter of fact, it calls for a death penalty. Noon, tapos na-suspended na lang. You know, you cannot operate a drug syndicate unless it is really syndicated or organized.
Yeah.
Kasi there has to be the catcher. Tapos yung distributor, then you go to the lieutenants to distribute it in different cities. And then you have the basurero, yung street
Retail.
peddling. Ang problema nito is the human rights and all, and that's why you get into a kind of a raucous thing if you don't really also honor the country's laws. It's impossible to operate a drug trafficking organization if it is not organized.
Yeah.
It must be organized. Kasi alam nila kung saan ihulog, alam nila kung saan ang pick up, alam nila kung saan paghatiin yan, then broken down into packages or sachets. And alam nila kung sinong ipasa doon sa street level sa mga lieutenants. And who are the basurero who would go around selling it. Sa bataso, it is an organized crime. And the rule in organized crime, criminal law, is the act of one is the act of all. Equally guilty yan. Ang problema dito, sabihin nila si Duterte, bakit he goes for the poor? Because Shabu is the poor man's.
Drugs.
It's cheap. 6 per sachet. Then 6 times 7 times how many Filipinos? I would place this at 7 million. That's a billion-dollar industry actually. Ngayon, kung sabihin mo yung sa patayan, just because he is poor, you cannot kill him, of course it is true. You just cannot kill a person because he's poor. But the poor or rich would resort to violence to resist an arrest or to counter the law, lumalaban sila ng barilan, eh di talagang mamatay sila. Now remember, and just to remind you, ilang sundalo at pulis kong namatay. The Marawi was not a rebellion. It started with a group of Marawi policemen who went to a certain Maote to serve a warrant. And they were met with
Heavy gunfire.
so they had to call in the Marines. And the Marines went there, and the following day sa Mapanding, they were all slaughtered. Then it became a total war. Then it became a rebellion. But what was really the beginning? Anong pulot dulo nun? Droga. And they refused to understand that Marawi then was a big laboratory, and all of the supply almost in the Philippines came from them. So sa yung lugar na yan. Now, how do you fight? Nakita naman ninyo kung ilang police, isang sundalo namatay in a 5 months war. And the mayors and the barangay captains. You know, I was a mayor when Alunan, who was the DILG secretary during the Ramos's time. Pinatawag kami. Alunan is still alive, and you can ask him. He just came in from America, and he called us all mayors. Any conference here in Malacañang. Sabi niya, the DEA in America told him bluntly that at the rate that your country is being swallowed by drugs, we will not be surprised if you become a narco state in due time.
Zombieland.
It was very prophetic because far and in between the years between Maramos, marami nang we just swept it under the rugs. And the corrupt officials, the generals, and everybody was into it. So when it was time for Bato to make public, because I brought him along because he was the only one I trusted, sabi ko, make public. So sabi niya, 1.6 together with 9 generals involved, karamihan dito sa Maynila. So yun ang nakita namin. Now, with 1.6 kay Bato, Santiago said it's more than. El Pelices at 7. Why? Because the counting was made in Manila. You never counted the addicts in Bacolod, in Cebu, in Davao, Cagayan, Zamboanga. Yun lang dito sa Manila, nakikita ninyo, nag-surrender sa TV. So nakita nyo gaano, there are siguro about maybe a little over 5 million addicts, slaves, reduced to slavery because of drugs. Because every day they have to get the fix. Or else there's always the monkey riding up the back. Kaya magnanakaw, magpatay. So these are the little things. Mga mayaman, okay sila. They have the yacht, they have the airplanes, they have houses as high as 7, and yung kanila is mga mayaman, cocaine. Cocaine yan sila.
How would you rate po the drug war? I mean, with 10 po as, perfect and 1 po as least. So far po ngayon, how do you see it?
I would say that our success rate now, because we have reduced, you can glean it from the reduced sa crime by 40%. I'd place it, the success, in about 5.5 to 6.
Mr. President, you actually have an unprecedented improvement in terms of peace and order. Kaya nga yung mga tao, they feel so secure, no? Basic services, health, no? Sample lang yan. And then transport even, nag-improve ng husto. environmental protection, and revival even. Yung lahat po ng ito because of your political will and kind of leadership. Alam ng lahat yan. That's why you enjoy very high popularity rating and approval rating. Sir, yun pong sa Pasig, yung pollution sa Pasig, no? Meron po bang plano ang inyong administrasyon para ayusin yun? Kasi yung mga sewage, di ba, parang nangyari sa Boracay. Yung sewage hindi maayos na pupunta sa Boracay. So yung pong sewage ng Metro Manila at kung saan-saan pa, dahil hindi ho yata, hindi inaasikaso talaga ng mga water companies para ho napupunta sila talaga dun sa Pasig. Meron po ba kayong plano to rehab?
It's a good question. Actually, when Singapore was rehabilitating their waterways, took them about 10 years.
Sir, magandang Pasig. Very
Well, ang Pasig,
Very
ma'am,
scenic.
ganito. We'll just have to turn the greater Manila upside down.
do that.
Alam mo kung bakit?
Gawin natin, sir. Gawin
Most
niyo.
of the buildings here, and the ones known to the authorities, they go to a certain big pipe to be treated. But that has never been done. Even sa collection sa ating drinking water, there is an item there.
Yes, sir.
yes.
Nagbabayad ho tayo, Mr. President.
And yet, you know, Manila water,
Yeah, and Maynilad.
wala
They
silang
don't.
water treatment. They've been duping
Yeah.
the
Customers, the
people.
public.
Yeah.
Yeah, sir.
And for that long, if you say that they've been collecting for so many years, it would really amount to plunder. Nandito naman sa sitwasyon natin, maraming building dito sa lahat, fronting the river at the back. We have to ask everybody to provide a new system of sewer and sewerage so that they can collect the water in big pipes that would run and go to the
And then treat,
water
sir.
treatment.
Yeah.
We need, pati yung mga kanal natin, ma'am,
Yes, sir.
papuntang ano yan.
Yeah.
The end game there is that they would, to the lower level of the topography, they would go to join the marine life there.
Exactly.
So I would say that I'm not the one. You'll have to give a president something like 10 years to do this, and all the improvements that you want.
Wala po bang pwedeng maitulong ang Congress to provide you with the ammunition so that you can turn it around and let's say the next 3 years that you are still with us?
Well, they can.
As
And,
president.
as a matter of fact, they started to, ngayon, they started to require buildings and restaurants to connect to a pipe there that would go to, pero yun yung mga building. Pero yung mga kanal sa estero, lahat-lahat na, doon naman nila tinatapon.
Sir, kasi galing kaming probinsya ako. I grew up with canals, with hito na pwede mong hulihin
Yung
at
kainin.
kainin. Yeah.
Ay, ako,
So we're
ganun.
hoping na bumalik sa ganung panahon yung, with you, with
It's,
your leadership.
It has been an ironclad guarantee
Ah,
that everybody else's waste would go to a certain pipe and be brought to a water treatment. That's being done in Canada.
Yes.
Sa Canada, yung water treatment nila, galing toilet and whatever.
Yes, sir.
Pwede mong
Iniinom.
inumin.
Oo. Iniinom nila.
Napunta ako nung pinainom, sabi ko, hindi ako mag-inom. Hindi ako mag-inom. Hindi
Picture
talaga.
lang.
Kasi sabi na, all of these waters that we collect from the bathrooms and everything,
Yes.
it's a one big lake, and you can just scoop water there and you drink.
So, Mr. President,
3
in the
years is
meantime,
very short. I
Yun
mean,
ang pagkakamali
yun-
talaga ng
Maynila,
itong
that's
concept. I'm not blaming anybody,
Opo.
but whoever really insisted itong 3 years. Ako, I've been mayor, yung 3 years lang sa
Opo.
23 years. For the first year, tatlong election ako bago ko na ibalik yung Davao. Ang Davao is maganda na. can walk at night, it's quiet, no drinking, no smoking, no nothing. Pero gusto ko gawain lahat yan. Alam mo, you'll have to go into so many quarrels there and maybe charges in court. But the Davao people understood really what they wanted.
But
It's
sir,
not
we
what I
also
wanted.
understood.
Huh?
The country understands because you have high approval rating,
Yes,
so
but
you can do it.
yeah, we started with smoking. Davao at 12 is, hindi yung sabi mo 12 o'clock stop drinking because they will order in advance. The best way is at 12 o'clock everything closes. Whether you have reserved one case of beer dyan, pagdating ng alas 12, wala na. I would have wanted to do it. But alam mo, iba-ibang kultura tayo. At sabi nila, it will kill really the business of Manila. Itself by doing away with all of these things, drinking and the gambling houses. And considering the huge expense, the money that we need to run the country. Parang binabalance ko yan. But if you can have a president and give him 10 years, we will improve. Sigurado ako. Sigurado.
So revolutionary government.
Ayoko. But I leave it to the military to decide what is good for their country. Kasi ang military naman, hindi naman sila mainit.
Okay.
But they know now what's happening. Kagaya ng PhilHealth, kagaya ng Manila Water.
Yeah.
Alam na nila ngayon kung paano nahausyaw ang di contract. I know these guys, they're well aware that they die for this country. At ganun lang pala ang nangyayari. So a lot of them, because there are about 12 military men in my cabinet. And not because I want to ingratiate myself to them. You know, I don't have to do that. Elected by the people. Ang gusto ko lang sa military is, I can have the job done. Pag sinabi mo, tapusin mo yan. Boracay and everything. Roy Simato started. All you have to ask him is, kaya mo. And walang corruption. So, dito ako sa kanya. But I left them with a sentiment that kayo, sabi ko.
Sir.
But ako, sabi ko pa, allow me to go out and you can have your way. And if you want a coup d'etat, fine, but let me know. Do not bring your armor there and your guns. That would be too stupid and corny. All you have to do is to call me. We'll have coffee here. And if you say that panahon mo na, wala kaming maasahan sa iyo, then okay, I'll step down. And so I would say that the decision of Marcos and ERAP not to allow a fight between his presidential guards and puro army yan pati, sila lang rin. Tama yan. When you're no longer needed, you do not call your army to fight the army. They would be fighting among themselves. And some would maybe just do it out of plain because of the oath of office. But that is not necessary.
So are you saying po that they should be given a greater role in your government po over the next 3 years? Either
Yes.
in cabinet positions or
Most of them
elsewhere
are
po?
military
Apo.
men already. And I find it that I do not have to deal with wala akong sa bureaucracy sa Philippine civilian sector. Ang problema nitong bureaucracy is they take too much time.
Yeah.
Tapos
Forever.
along the way manawawala yung pera, kasi ganon, and so many excuses. Lahat ng project, almost 90%, except itong kay Villar. Villar is very good. And alam mo, wala akong expectation sa kanya na ganon, ha? Uh, nahihiya nga ako, but he turned out to be one of the most outstanding cabinet performers. Tugad ni siya. How many airports na mga magaganda ngayon? Tugad eh. And the long roads in Luzon, it's bilyar. And when the connectors are, you can travel sa taas na lang. Live edge sa baba kasi wala ka talagang pag-asa.
So, looking forward, how do you want people or history to look back at your presidency? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? And you only have 3 years left po in your term.
Alam mo, may ano ako. It might be a soul-gripping attitude or an attitude that's not. Do you know that I do not accept awards? Maybe because I never had any award anyway during my student days.
Sir, meron kami.
Meron hanggang 75 lang ako eh. So nobody really cared to mention my name even. But I do not accept awards. At ang sinabi ko, I am a worker of government and I serve the people. I am paid, period. Nakukurnihan ako ng mga awards. Ayaw ko.
Okay.
And even during the Boracay opening, I was supposed to go there. But when I saw the bantings and the banners, salamat, Presidente Duterte, sa ang loob mo, gano'n. So, the day before sa TV, nakita ko, sabi ko, because sa staff ko, hindi ako pupunta. Kasi nakukurnihan ako sa mga, ayaw ko yung gano'n. I'm done with these accolades and I've been a politician for hindi naman it's not appreciated, but it does not give me added.
But how do you want to be remembered po?
Well, I just remembered as a worker that I passed there and I did and if my best was not good enough, then I'm so. Wala akong magawa, yan lang kaya ko.
Sir, what's your long-term strategy on China? And I think that the trick part po is, how do you pursue an independent foreign policy po that's also independent of the U.S. with regard to the China and West Philippine Sea issue?
Well, let's start with the United States.
Apo.
Historically, wherever there is a trouble, tayo talaga ang ally. Whether it is in the Middle East, you are asked to contribute. The driving force behind that is really not the United Nations. Inutil naman ito United Nations eh. Wala namang ginawa yan. Dapat sarahan yan. Itong because we are friends, we have this RPUS treaty, mutual defense. And we have been very close. Okay ako niyan. Pero yung sabihin na may gera doon, then you ask a Philippine contingent, we send. We give in to the request. But this cannot go on forever. And, there are things which I cannot elaborate, but I will just mention it. Meron tayong binili na hand-me-down nila na from NATO helicopters. 3 of those helicopters crashed, killing all my pilots. I've been asking questions until now. In the end, there was never a satisfactory answer. And during the time when we were fighting the Maranao rebellion and the shabu everywhere, yung mga luma nating baril, alam mo pag luma na, lumalaki na yung baril. Natutunaw yan. So wala nang trajectory, yan. So it was not tayo ordered it, I think it was during Aquino. 63,000 pieces of M16s, Sig Sauer. Nung na-presidente ako, may 2 congressman sa Congress nagdaldal na it should not be given to the Duterte administration.
Because?
Wala naman akong pakialam dyan. I needed the weapon because from all indications at that time, alam ko na napuputok na. Kasi they were passing arms around already. From the intelligence community, hinog na talaga. So they were about they were to defend, and we could not stop the Shabu operations there. Halos every mayor doon, meron siyang sariling cottage industry doon sa likod ng bahay niya.
Wow.
So, nag-order tayo. 2 congressmen spoke against it. So it was recalled. Ngayon sa Amerika, mas mabuting atay dito kasi kung sa akin, if it is here, I will not obey Congress. Sabi na huwag mong ituloy. This is a commitment, so I'll have to honor it. It was suspended. So alam ko na kulang ang baril. I tried China. I went to China purposely to just buy guns on credit. Sabi ko, wala akong pera. I was with my cabinet members, pati sila nandoon na kami lahat. That's what I told China. I came here now, sabi ko, can you give me a liberal term? When no need, we'll give it to you for free. So, tapos na pag-usapan namin yan, itong relasyon natin. I went direct for the, sabi ko, and by the way, nandiyan yan sila, si Mato, si Dominguez, si Lorenzana, si Speron, everybody in the cabinet. Sabi ko, I'm going to a certain portion of the China Sea because I will dig oil. So, you cannot do that. So, no, that's ours. Tapos sa amin ni Josephine, had a little bit of a debate, pero in soft voice. Sabi niya, we just restored our normal relations. We are very happy that you are here. We can talk about it some other time. Huwag ngayon because sabi niya sa bunga, it might mean trouble. From the lips of the shade, ano ang ibig sabihin niya ng trouble? Sabi ko, no, I do not want war. I cannot win a war against you. We are not going to win a war. Pero ako talaga, sabi ko pag-uwi ko, there will be a time that I will bring this matter personally to you. Ang sa idea ko, when they start to dig oil,
And when is it, Mr. President?
malapit na siya but it was naputol kasi diba, Irocos again, itong banggaan. Alam mo, nung sinabi ni President Xi Jinping, we can even give you 60-40. 60 in you, 40 amin. I was so happy.
Yeah.
Yun ang sinasabi ko one day. Because China is in the possession of the China Sea. He is claiming the entire ocean, the first nation ever to do that. And I'm still wondering how it can be done. They just claim the entire ocean. Tapos sabi nila, beto yung sabi, binabantayan ko kung yung oil. Yung nasing na sa oil, nagsabi na ako sa ambassador, what's your plan? As I've said, that's our oil. No, we can always agree. Sharing or you can have a 60-40. Di maligaya ako. Kasi wala. Ang gusto kasi nitong si Carpio et al. Is gusto nila akong pumunta doon. They've been baiting me na pumunta doon to stop them. How do I do it? They are in possession of China. They have built military garrisons and some missile sites there. Now, when did this start? About 8 years ago. Was it known to everybody? Yes, including America. Sa newspaper natin, in all of the newspapers, meron tayong satellite photographs provided by the free countries anyway, France, Britain, that there was something brewing, civil wars going on. Sabi nila, ganito lang. Since we cannot stop them, I thought that since it is a violation to build an artificial structure on the high seas, bakit ang Amerika na mayroong seventh fleet, bakit hindi niya pinapunta doon sa niya, hey guy, you cannot do this.
Stop them.
Why did America and the rest of the Western world, France, Britain, talagang nag-bloom into something, a settlement, then an airport, then a military complex. Ngayon, ako ang gusto nilang pumunta doon, ito si Carpio. You know, when did we lose China? We lost China, yung may impasse doon. We were there physically.
Yes.
China went there.
Yes.
Then may standoff.
Yes.
Then Albert, together talking with his American counterparts and Chinese, pumayag ang gago
Yeah.
na mag-atras tayo.
Correct.
Sabay atras. Ang problema, China did not honor it. Nag-atras ang ating Navy, umuwi. That day, we lost desperately. Hindi na sila umalis doon eh. Tapos, itong gago, itong Carpio et al., ako pa ngayon ang iniipit, hindi man ako ang nagbigay kayo. So, nagpahal sa arbitral ruling. So, what's the use of arbitral ruling kung nandyan na sila? Kung pagkabagbahay, you claim the house, but the house is already occupied by somebody else. Tapos pumunta ka doon. Ganito eh. Do you know why it's in hotel? Because yung United Nations, the International Court of Justice, hanggang ruling lang yan, alam nitong mga bugok na itong justices,
Hindi enforceable.
they do not have the enforcement body.
That's true.
Hindi kagaya kung manalo ka dito, punta ka sa judge, the sheriff will order, place the plaintiff or the winning party in possession of the property. Who's gonna do it? Wala. Amerika, yun lang, yung mga overflights niya. I am making the suggestion, okay? I'm telling China, sorry, I am now calling and invoking the RPU's pact. If they say it's an aggression, I'm telling China, you are an aggressor. Magpunta kami, lahat ng 7th Fleet,
Padala doon.
put it in array there, pati yung Navy ko, and I will ride on the ship
Of the
doon sa Amerika. Kasama ko si Albert, si Carpio, si Morales, yung mga tigas. Para unang putok, sasabog man talaga kami. Ako, I promise. Pagkasabi ng Amerika, okay, let's go. No, I'm telling China now, this moment, if America would go to war, I will join America. Provided yung give me the arms. The 7th Fleet should be there. Tapos kami yung mga the ever so, not the other. They aren't even the skeptics. They are the kita mo naman. No?
Mr.
So
President.
the relations have been with China has been stable, largely because of your foreign
Yes,
policy
because
initiative.
sinabi ko man na, I've been frank enough that I cannot win a war with China.
Apo.
The moment I order my Marines to launch their birds going to Spratly, hindi mag-abot ng 1 kilometro, tatamaan niya ng cruise missile. You know, their fastest there can reach Manila in 7 minutes.
Wow.
You want a war with China? Pero kung gusto yan nila, I'm putting China on advice. I'm awaiting word from the United States that if they're willing to go to war, to drive you, then I will do it. Now, there is an argument which I will talk about when sa SONA na.
Sir, merong sinulat yung dati yung spokesperson, si Attorney Roque. Nasabi niya na ang ponente dati ng isang decision si Carpio, na ang decision, ang tama daw, dapat daw ang sundin, kasi nag-file siya ng motion, ang dapat daw sundin is the treaties mas ano daw yun, mas superior over the constitutional details. Pero dito sa case nyo ngayon, ang sabi niya, the Constitution is superior over the treaties. So, ano ho ang masasabi niyo doon? Parang lumalabas.
Kaya pagbigyan
namumulitika
ko
lang
sila.
siya.
I am now asking the 3 or 4 of them to meet me anywhere. Tapos I will ask now the America to prepare. I'm invoking now the RPU's treaty or whatever that we will start the war. This will put China on notice. So they will also be prepared.
Sir, going back to Mindanao, no? Sinulat din ng isang kolumnista namin yung tungkol sa Mindanao. Kasi usually, kahit dati pa, pag merong konting problema dito, sasabihin, padadala ko kayo sa Mindanao, papatapon ko kayo doon. Sabi nung isang kolumnista namin, isn't it that the least deserves the best? So parang instead of sending them to Mindanao to punish those who are, probably misbehaving from here, Metro Manila, di ba? Because which is the center of all action, sabi nila, bakit hindi ipadala sa amin yung magagaling para matuto kami at sumunod kami ng tama?
Sabihin mo ako dyan sa mga polis.
Sir, hindi sir. Ang sinasabi.
You know, when I took the bar and passed the bar in 72. In 73, 74, asawa ako. I was a fiscal. Kulang talaga ang kinikita ko. So I had to teach police academy. Criminal law, criminal evidence, criminal procedure. Ito mga police na ito, kung na-assign ka sa aking lugar, hindi ako magyabang. Mababait yan. Putang ina, binabarilin ko talaga yung mga gagong yan eh. Pero dito, kung bakit ko ipadala sila doon, ang akin baka sakali mamatay ka agad.
Okay, now we know.
Ito. Wala mang inutil itong mga gago na itong walang ginawa kung hindi maghingi, mag-stort.
Okay.
Kahit no, bigyan mo ako sa Davao ng gano'n. You have to know. If, may investigative journalism, pumunta kayo ng Davao. Ganon talaga ako doon.
Sir, follow up.
You stop. You do not stop, then God will stop you.
Sir, follow up. Tungkol po dun sa corruption. In terms of reading, kasi ho, isa sa pangako ninyo yan bawasan, eliminate ang corruption. In terms of reading the entire bureaucracy of corruption, how far have you gone, you think, in your own assessment?
Well, I think that I have chosen one of the best. Half of my cabinet are military men. And I knew them since back when they were nakilala ko lang yan sila kasi na-assign ng Mindanao. But as mayor kasi yan, as the regional chairman of the Peace and Order Council for so many years, as a matter of fact, almost of my mayorship days, we get to meet and yung iba na-assign sa lugar ko, sa isang kampo located in Davao. The Rosario was also the task force Davao. And everybody else, nakiibigan ko yan sila sa trabaho. And they work for a time, however short, nakilala ko. And so these are the men that I choose. Onion, kasi talagang honest. So I would say that pati itong mga civilian sector dito sa kabila, kasi magharapan sa cabinet, military ba ito? I think I've chosen, ganito yan huwag ka lang mag-corrupt. Walang corruption sa baba. But if I start to ask money, everybody will do it. Kasi sabihin mo nila, ikaw lang pala ang gustong mayaman. Kami mahirap. Kaya, ganun yan.
So, 1/3, 1/2, 75%?
Ang corruption.
Yes, you have read the bureaucracy somehow?
Dito sa corruption, madam, talagang nag-surrender na ako dito. This prompted me to resign. Or many times, I uttered that I am sick and tired because I cannot cope up. Hindi ko mahabol ang korupsyon sa Pilipinas. Every table dyan sa gobyerno, hindi naman lahat, kung hindi ka korap, huwag mo akong pakinggan, corrupt. Ang clearance, 3 days, 4 days, pabalik-balik. Yung mga ganon.
3 months.
Tapos yung they sit on the papers,
Yeah.
pabalik-balikin mo yung tao. Kaya there's the Office of doing business
Ease of
with this.
doing- Yes, yes, yeah.
Yun na doon ko na lang I'm giving the directors only 15 days. And the cabinet members only 1 month. And if you want an ocular inspection that would take a longer period, you tell me. Sa lahat yan, down the line hanggang local government.
So in your cabinet, sir, you have a highly formidable working cabinet. So you're entering your next 3 years. Doon ho sa cabinet ninyo, sino yung top 3?
Performance?
Yes.
I would say Villar. And lahat man sila, ma'am.
Yes, sir. 3.
Villar, because Tugade. Makita mo naman lahat ng
Yes.
airport ngayon, halos ilang airport na nagawa ni Tugade. Villar, Tugade. I'm more of the infrastructure. Yun namang wala sa infrastructure, wala silang masyadong ipakita. But they are all good. And they have to accomplish their mission that I gave them. The third would be si Lopez sa
DTI.
yung small scale.
Yeah.
Sir?
Yung iba, katrabaho rin. Anyo is doing a great job sa local government.
Sir, how do you protect the reforms you've made so far? I mean, sabi niyo maraming problema, but you've made some gains. So, looking forward, sir, how do you protect the progress that's made? Are you in favor, for instance, of maybe your daughter Sarah running for president after you?
No, I'll give you straight. I've told my daughter not to run.
Apo.
Not to run because walang maibigay sa iyo. Personally, sa pagkatao mo, wala.
Sir, but if she gives it a shot,
Hindi, bahala siya, basta ako.
what's your advice? One advice.
No.
That's the advice.
No. Kasi kung honest ka, you do not need to be president to be more honest. Or if you are corrupt, you need not go to the presidency to get more money. Ganun lang naman yan. Pero itong sa akin, I'm not saying anything. You judge sa history. Ako, I do not allow transaction. Yung mga papel dokumento yang involving public funds, MRT contracts, reclamation. Wala ako dyan. I do not allow it. Kaya kung dukutin mo yung bulsa ko, pag alis ko dito, wala
Walang
kang
laman.
makuha. Ganon talaga. And you can ask any of the... Wala yung mga kontrata mag-sign, mag-initial lang. It begins and ends with you. If it is a DFA, si Teddy Boy, funding, you ask for it, they'll give it to you, bahala kayo dyan. Ganon rin sa lahat ng opisina.
Sir, if you could choose your successor, would you have some names in mind?
Ayaw ko kasi magdamay kasi
Apo.
dumaan ako dito. Kagaya namin, ako 74. Ano man gusto mo dito sa ano ito? Pera? Ipabaunan ka ng isang truck. 74, 75, 76. Lahat na ng sakit nandyan na sa akin. You name it, nandyan. Cancer of the lung, cancer of the liver, pancreas, cancer of the kidney. Nandyan na sa akin lahat. Cancer of what? Cancer of the heart, cancer of the brain. Just to emphasize that. Tapos, ano bang makuha mo dito sa trabaho ko lang dito? I received 200. Magtanong ka dito, tanong ka sa budget. I never signed anything more than 200 pesos. That's my salary. Remember, I have 2 families. Tag 100, 100. Kaya ako wala. Butit na lang, libre kain, libre opisina. Pag-uwi, wala. Well, those things are personal. Pero kung sa may extra money, tsaka, pag presidente ka, you get to be, insultuhin ka, like the likes of Trillanes, yung mga, they go for just, numero 1 ng mga tulisan, pag ganun-ganon ang mga magdalo, they're all kalawag. And they must remember that they were educated with the people's money. And look the things that they can. Wala ang Pilipinas. It's not a good occupation to be president. Maawa ako sa anak ko. And she has to bear it all. And sometimes swallow. Just swallow kasi presidente ka. You have to behave. Pero yung mga politika nga dito, kung nandiyan pala na, puro baboy eh. Sabi ko, huwag ka muna dito. Wait for a better time siguro. If it comes in your lifetime. Pero ako ngayon, you say that regrets? Maybe.
Sir.
Kasi pagod na ako sa trabaho ko. Ginagawa ko na lahat. Hindi ko, I do not accept, sabi ko nga yung mga high praises, I don't need it. Because I know that I can. Hanggang dyan lang rin ang trabaho ko. Kaya grabe itong mga politiko lalo na pagdating nitong nila Trillanes. Ang mga baboy ng putang ina. Mahirap.
How do you reconcile that? Earlier you were saying the military mindset, there's discipline, there's achievement, the national pride.
These are the scoundrels. That's why
Exceptions.
there's a word scoundrels. The words patriotism, if you read it backwards, it's scoundrels.
Sir, kanina nabanggit niyo yung top 3 performers yung cabinet. Tapos nasabi niyo yung corruption, yung mga fiscal and all. And then you mentioned in several of your public speeches, sabihin dun sa mga korte na huwag kayong makikialam, na harangin ang mga projects, mag-issue ng mga injunction, TRO, para ma-delay ang mga projects, di ba? So, what's being done right now that you have a lot of projects people are expecting?
Well, the prosecutors are under the Department of Justice. So
But
under
they're
me.
yes.
Okay. I can have the records na yung nila, how many cases that they have prosecuted, drug cases. Meron naman akong listahan sa mga judges na almost 1,000 cases of drug cases filed before the court. And yet walang isang conviction. Meron naman akong mga piskal dito na luluto. The usual is, if you are caught with 1 kilo of shabu, the usual is plea bargaining to admit to a lesser offense. Pumapayag na yan sila ng mere possession kasi mababa eh. And if you are sentenced 6 years below, you go into a probation. Yan ang mga racket na or outright ihulog na lang yung kaso.
Sir, kasi example no, nung sinasabi niyo na nakikialam ang korte, yung issue sa PECO, di ba? Nag-issue ang ERC na pwedeng i-take over na yung mga facilities para uninterrupted yung distribution ng power sa Iloilo. Pero nag-issue ang isang korte dito sa Metro Manila, in-injunction yung takeover nung may bagong franchise kasi nag-expire yung franchise ng luma. You know, so how is that?
Ako, I'll go to the Supreme Court and ask the Supreme Court to look into the basis of what's... wala na yun. You know, Iloilo at this age and time is suffering from a rotational
Brownout. Yeah.
And in Palawan, ganun rin.
Ganun din.
So, ako naman, I am in a hurry because I have the left.
Project.
Baski lang naman I can comply with that promise. At ang dito kasi sa Pilipinas, aywan ko kung saan nila nakuha yan. And there are a group of people, walang mga pera itong mga animal na to. Pag may mga malalaging bidding, magsali sila. Andadive yan sila ng gusto.
Presyo.
And if they win, they will give it to a subcontractor. Despite or in spite of a prohibition there in the contract. So, pag ini-dive mo yung 100 million, mag-dive ka ng 60, panalo ka. Tapos, ipagbili mo yan sa subcontractor ng 10 million. So, ang nakaramihang makikita mo itong mga tulay, inaayos, 2 empleyado lang, araw-araw, kasi wala yan siyang workforce. Walang pera. Laway lang yan. Alam ng mga justices yan. Alam ng mga judges yan. Kaya kung masobrahan, then I'd be forced to wag sana. Kasi I was once a fiscal. Pero nung fiscal ako, pag hindi ko nagustuhan rin yung asta ng huwes, maninigaw rin ako ng huwes noon.
Kaya nga sir, yung mga right of way, yung mga infrastructure projects niyo, isa sa mga nag-setback niyan yung may TRO, may injunction, so hindi nila maituloy yung project, natitenga.
So, I want to call their attention. Minus the Supreme Court mo. Judge, ano bang what's taking you so long? Is there usually the injunction is to prevent damage, reparable damage or injustice. Now before it get out of hand, you can remedy the situation by pero tingnan ko, kung sabihin ng mga abogado ng gobyerno, mumurahin kita sa publiko. Putang inang judge ka naman. Sabihin kita, magkano ba kinikita mo? Ilagay kita dito sa... Kasi ganun ang Pilipinas, hindi mo madala. Hindi mo madala, judge, ganon. Oh. Ito mga durugista, boys, wag na kayo dyan. Hindi yan, pag wala ka, diyan ka, behave yan pag wala ka. So, yan ang human rights. Gusto ko sila ang magpunta dito. I will give them the power to run the police. Sige, bukan ninyo. Try to convince the idiots to stop.
Mr. President, sports naman tayo. Yun pong nangyayari ngayon sa POC. They're in disarray and the ASEAN Games is, it's fast approaching. Ano po kaya ang immediate solution doon?
I am through with these foundations. Me, personally, give it to government.
Sir, that's precisely the issue. Kaya nga ho nagkagulo. So, am I to presume that it will be given independently to POC to handle it instead of FISGOC, a foundation, which was just recently created? So, ibig ho bang niyang sabihin talagang free hand ng POC to proceed?
Yes. It should be the government to be the most interested winning the medal. Yung foundation panggulo eh.
So, alam na,
so many fingers dipping on this. Not necessarily corruption or money. Gobyerno na lang, para isa lang ang
kausap.
bitayin ko kung matalo. Kung wala tayong isang medal, wala pa po tayo. Ito, this chandelier is strong enough to hold the body of a commissioner of...
Sir, you have this effect of confusing people. Your critics have very harsh things to say about you. You call them scoundrels, for instance. And yet your satisfaction rating is very high. What do people do now? What is the real Rodrigo Roa Duterte po? What is the public, what are the biggest misconceptions about you, and what are you really like po ba?
Nothing, sir.
Apo.
The only problem is that I brought the mayorship into the presidency.
Apo.
and including yung ugali ko. I never sorted out the bad things that I can say or I cannot say because I'm already the president. Wala ako, yung mayor ako, kung potang ina ka, litse ka, papatayin kita dyan. Eh, kung totoo mo man, okay lang. Kung hindi mo naman tinotoo, pantakot, okay lang. Pero yung tao, alam nila na galit ka at I never, ganun ako pagka-mayor. So I have this own universal identity. I cannot go out of the Rodrigo Duterte that I was and I am. Bahala na sila itong mga the elite 400 of society. Ito yung mga ano nila na bastos itong presidente. Eh basta-basta lang ako may ginawa. At sabi ko kay pinutang ina ko si Obama, ay dapat naman. You know, when you are the chief executive in the nation, you do not, by delicadeza na lang rin, do not criticize me in a public interview, yung mga ganong press conference. Obama did that to several leaders. Kayo sabi ko, if you have a complaint, Obama, bright ka man kaya, tangina mo, pumunta ka doon sa United Nations. Then file the charges there or your complaint, have it heard, and if it requires the resolution of the Security Council, go ahead. But do not criticize us or slander us or ipahiya, put us in humiliation by chastising. Putang ina, sino ka? Just because you're the president of... Kaya sabi ko, you're son of a bitch. Ito namang mga media, pagkalabang ka, they would... Men judge best when they condemn. You must remember that. So, yun namang, yung ating kasing son of a bitch, ang ating talagang the nearest that's near to our is putang ina. Kaya kung magalit ka, pati ang dinagda son of a whore, gano'n. Which was not, hindi naman, talagang gusto ka lang nilang ipitin. That prompted me to be more vicious and toxic sa language. Gusto ninyo talaga. Kasi makita sa son of a bitch, sa son of a whore. Talagang sinasadya para lang to put you down. And even itong mga media, itong mga kritiko. Kaya gusto ninyo, putang ina, ang babaho ng... Babastusin talaga kita. Because that is my only way. I cannot express it in other way. Banatan mo ako ng banatan, banatan mo ako ng batan. Gusto mo nyo kayo lang. Nahuli ko sila doon sa Bikoy. Nahuli ko sila doon sa... Of course, it's illegal. Nahuli ko sila sa... I cannot use it in public as evidence because ngayon, sabihin nila, the hearing it is illegal. Paano illegal? Akala ko makinig ako doon sa music. Nailagay ko doon sa yung... Nilagay pala doon tape recorder na... Sino man ito? Si boses man ito ni... nag-uusap sila. The various, they're planning how to cook the issues for the next day, gano'n. Kaya wala akong choice eh. Sabi kong ganito na mag-imbento kayo, cook up things. Babastusin ko kayong lahat. Kaya pinuputang ina sa baho ko, babaho ang... Totoo naman. Gaganunin ko talaga sila. O yung iba dyan may mga boyfriend. Pinaka-ano ko, sabihin ko yan. Ikaw putang ina mo. Kala mo pauwi ka ng gabi, patapos kala mo sasakay ka ng ibang sinasakyan mo, iniiwan mo yung kotse mo dyan sa studio. Tapos babalik ka ng alas 4, pauwi ka na. Tapos pala, nag-chuk-chak ka lang sa boyfriend mo.
Mr. President, you have become a leader to reckon with in the world stage. Sa ASEAN, in terms of influencing the foreign policy and the direction of the ASEAN policies, gaano ho kalawak ang ating impluensya ngayon?
Well, in the ASEAN, they are happy when I'm there because talaga nagbubuga ako. Nagbubuga ako against China, then nagbubuga ako against the Americans. Ayan ang ano ko eh. Bakit man tayo ilagay nila sa, why would they picture us as the villains when ito sila Del Rosario? Alam nila, sila ang nakawala. It was during the time of Del Rosario when we retreated and he ordered it, they say that without the authority of President Aquino. Kaya makita ka ng mga bastos, ako pang because of the arbitral. Look, whether there is the arbitral ruling or none at all, hindi na talaga tayo makapasok dyan because China is in the possession. Yung arbitral na napangdagdag na lang yun, but who's going to enforce it?
Yeah.
So it makes it more, how would I explain? Then naman, to put it mildly, it puts more incongruity sa posisyon natin. We have an arbitral ruling, we want it, but we cannot have it because we do not have the power. Now, assuming that it is China who is not the owner.
What can we do?
And besides, I will expound it more thoroughly. Itong arbitral ruling, sabi nila that I have violated the Constitution. Sawa ng Diyos, hindi. Because in that mga arbitral rulings in the past sa yung clause, itong away ng boundary sa economic zones, there is always that traditional fishing rights. Before the nations were banded into one, ang civilizations, they were already all around the world yan. And they were there fishing, that is their
Common
traditional.
area. Yeah.
So hindi ka masabi from here up to there, tapos masagasaan mo. There is an exception. That was what I meant. It was not, wala naman, it was not a trawler, it was a big bangka, kagaya sa atin. So, ang tawag niyan sa law, mga abogado, we do not call it a maritime accident. It's always a maritime incident which has to be investigated. The word itself is neutral.
Incident.
Maritime incident. It is only after you have convened a marine board, tapos that the evidence are there, and you can make a reasonable conclusion that one party was really guilty. Itong mga to, ayaw gamitin. Tapos yung isa, constitutionalist daw. Itong sinong kalimutan ko. Putang ina mo, anong librong ginamit mo? Mas bright ka pa sa akin. Alam mo itong mga unggoy na to, kung bright pa sila, sila yung nakaupo dito ngayon. Kaya sila hanggang kantsaw lang, kasi hindi naman talaga kayo manalo. Kung kayo manalo, baha ang Pilipinas na droga pa rin.
On that note, Mr. President, is peace achievable under your term?
May 3 years pa ako, ubusin ko itong mga putang ina, ito mga sabihin ko sa iyo. Oh, ubusin ko talaga ito so that the Filipino will be freed. It's a crime. You know, how could I be wrong when I say, I will kill you if you destroy my country? flooding it with drugs, making inutil out of my children, making them slaves to a chemical called shabu. You are destroying my nation. The moral fibers of my
Society.
young people.
Yeah.
I have every right to kill you. Baski sino dyan, America killed Bin Laden because Bin Laden was an enemy. Ang enemy ko dito, but they afforded Bin Laden with hearing there? Mabuti pa dito. At least, medyo pareha rin siguro, pero sabi ko, this is my stop it. Do not destroy my country. Bahala na ko, wag lang yan. Yung mga pulis, pati lahat na, pumasok kayo, wag, pulis ka, papatayin kita.
Sir, for my last question, I heard you work late at night, and we've started tonight's discussion with the Coco Levy. We talked about corruption, drugs, and China. What's if you could name one issue po? What would be the issue that literally keeps you awake at night po?
Yung tao, yung mahirap. I've always been looking, you can ask any cabinet na, give me something that would enhance. Just, it does not end in feeding eh. Kasi pwede mo ibigay yung lahat ng NAP na in-import mo. But how really to raise the life of the...
From poverty.
Ang ano kasi ma'am, ang gauge kasi ng pag-angat ng bayan is that you're able to build a strong middle class. Not really very strong, but out of some, magkaroon ng ano. That's an economic riddle dito. But I guess that making the Philippines peaceful could attract more investors. And they're just wala lang corruption and give all the incentives. At this stage, we are not interested so much in the income and taxes. But we should be more concerned of how many people are employed and that they can bring home. Kasi ayaw mamaniwala nila, ma'am, na galing ako sa mahirap. Itong mga cynic, itong mga babae dyan, they think that somebody should do an investigative journalism also. Wow. Galing ako mahirap. Galing rin ako na demolish yung bahay. Somebody said, we arrived there in 1950, Davao. And it was 1950, imagine Davao. Just then half of that was really a forest. 1950, wala pang asfalto, wala pang semento. But over the years, but yung mga tao, nabibigyan ng Panginoong Diyos ng break. Kaya, bakit ko sayangan? Sabi ko nga na, wala ba maibigay sa iyo? May nakita ako sa Davao, mga mansyon. Nag-asawa niya mga anak nila. Naiwan na sila doon sa Amerika na noon. Namatay sila bago 3 araw. Kung hindi mga muy, hindi malaman na patay na pala sila. What? Mabuti pa, itulong mo na lang sa... Kaya dito, baski noong mayor pa ako, sabihin ko lang, prangka-prangka, I do not accept gifts. I return it. Nung lalo ng fiscal ako kasi quasi-judicial.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you so
that
much,
ends
Mr.
it.
President.
Thank you.
Salamat po.
Anong